Hey guys, this is For the Love of Palm Coast, where we talk about all things Palm Coast, good, bad, indifferent. I'm Lauren McPherson.
And I'm Sam Perkovich.
We are with Parkside Realty Group. And so we wanted to touch base on a couple things when it comes to Palm Coast and all the new stuff that's going on around here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we wanted to kind of reach back to the videos that we have done previously and talk about some of the best things of Palm Coast and how the Observer has actually helped bring that all together for us. We want to talk about the new Southern Rec Center. We want to talk about crime in Palm Coast. I'm excited to talk about it. Let's get started.
Me too. Let's start.
Show me what you brought from the Observer.
So this is from the Observer, and I believe this was right after we recorded. I believe this is the February 15th issue, and we were talking about all the good things in Palm Coast. I think we're going to try and post all these QR codes online for you, or you can go online on the Observer and pull them. But there's a bunch of QR codes here telling you the best things about Palm Coast, like we talked about. And what you need to know if you're a brand new person here.
Get to know your city. It's showing where all the Medi-Quicks are, all the schools, where Palm Coast City Hall is, the different libraries, the free clinic, so much stuff. And there's QR codes for Flagler schools and the bus routes. And on this first page, which I thought was really awesome, is some of the arts and entertainment stuff in Palm Coast, because we have a lot going on that isn't really talked about much. So Madcap's Comedy Club is newer. And that's super fun. That's over in the city marketplace.
Right.
Off of
Cypress
Point. There it is.
Parkway.
Yes. And they bring in comedians from all over. And it's a super fun night. What a fun date night.
A lot of follow-up to just what we were talking about last time we were here.
Yes.
Speaking of new.
Yes. Tell me.
And this is another publication that's local, not local. Palm Coast. It's the February magazine that's got that. And they highlighted, it says here, parks and recreation in the city. Look at all these parks. There's 15 different parks, all different kinds. Some on the water, some on the intercoastal, Veterans Park. You know, there's some there all across the community. And on top of that, in the description, you know, it'd be a fun day to go visit 3 or 4 a time and as you're new here. And when this was published, our brand newest park was not open. We now have the Southern Rec Center, which is over on the west side of town.
That place looks incredible. And I didn't make it to the ribbon cutting. They just had it recently. Tell us all about what's going on at the Rec Center.
Last Friday was the opening, and I have to tell you, I meant to be there for the ribbon cutting, but you couldn't get in. It was so crowded.
Oh, I love to hear it.
It was so crowded. Traffic was backed up for miles.
Good job, Palm Coast.
We did a quick go to dinner first and came back later, and it was hard to believe you're in Palm Coast. It was just incredible. They've done everything new and right. There's a dog park there. There's a ton more parking where there wasn't at the current trailhead. That is a trailhead parking for the Royal Palms bike path.
The Lehigh
Trail.
And
the Lehigh Trail right there. You can park there. They've put in bathrooms. Hooray. Always a good thing.
I want to say, not to interrupt, sorry, but Palm Coast is really good about having bathrooms at all of our parks. They are really nicely maintained.
Clean.
They're clean. And it's so wonderful to have a bathroom there. Like, you don't realize, I have some clients that are moving here from out of town, and they made it a point, every park that they visited, they were so happy to see a bathroom. You don't realize other parks across the country aren't doing that at every location that they have.
And this is kind of the first park we have on the western side of town. So
a big one.
Right. And so the neighborhoods are real happy. Everybody had their dogs out. The dog park of it was just packed with dogs just jumping around like they were there to celebrate.
I love it.
The other thing they have that's real exciting is they have the Trailhead Community Garden.
We have been waiting for this moment.
Yes, they have. And I think they realized, because they sold out immediately, that they're going to build more. And if you go there, put in a suggestion if this interests you. They are taking suggestions. There is more land there, and there's room. They were talking about, I heard people say, how about a cornhole toss? How about croquet? You know, so I think we'll get other things there, but just go make your wants known. So that was great. There's
Speak up.
Beautiful pickleball courts, some under roof and some not. They're going to expand the tennis center to include stadium seating and professional lighting.
So we can have national tournaments come here like we used to have in Palm Coast. We used to be huge in tennis.
Exactly. And then there's a beautiful building with locker rooms. There was one ping pong table. I hear there's going to be more. And rooms you can rent, they've already established. On here you can see it. They're giving these out at the center. They've already established a running group, a walking group, a biking group that'll meet 1 day a week or 2 days a week. And you can rent some of the rooms out if you have a group that you want to get together.
Cool. And I'm sure that we could go to Palm Coast Connect, palmcoast.gov/connect, or go to parksandrec.fun.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. And you can learn all about it, and you can see, look, the bike club and the run club starting in April. There's all sorts of things. Our friends at Redefined Food Co. are going to be serving out of there now, which is really cool. They do meal prep. They do wraps. They do paninis now, I think. So that's great. So you go there, you've got a lunch option, a nice healthy lunch option, which is awesome.
That's good for a rec center to have healthy lunch.
Yes. And you can walk out over, you said they had 2 balconies,
there's
right?
balconies in the front to look out over the tennis courts, and in the back to look over the pickleball courts.
It's so beautiful.
It is. There's a lot of cleared land there. It had been raining very hard, so it was kind of wet that they are going to develop. And that's why everybody was stopping giving suggestions at the desk.
I love it. We have room for growth.
Yes, we do.
Very exciting. I wanted to look at this parks list because I wanted to ask you, besides obviously the new rec center, what's your favorite park and trail that you like to walk?
Well, that's kind of funny since our office sits on a park, and that's why we're called Parkside. And the one I walk my dog on the most is right behind us by City Hall. So I guess I would have to call that my favorite.
I love it. Around the lake is so
around
beautiful.
the lake is nice. My dog's old, so he can't walk too much further, or doesn't want to. But and because I live on that side of town, I do use the Royal Palms Lehigh Trail all the time.
I love that one.
How about you? Which one?
I think that whenever I go for a walk or a jog, I like to go a little bit further. So town center is gorgeous, and I love a quick, my favorite part actually, let's go back. My favorite part of working in this office is that I can go and do a quick 10-minute walk to kind of clear my brain, or take a phone call and walk around the lake, and it's lovely. But my favorite long walk is probably Waterfront Park and the St. Joe walkway along the intercoastal, and you get to see dolphins, and you get to see boats going by, and all the big fancy houses on the water, and and you're in the trees. It's gorgeous. It is beautiful if you haven't been there.
Yeah.
So that one's probably my favorite, and then also the Lehigh Trail I like because where I start, there's actually a couple different starting points. It's very long. Everything connects. But there are mileage markers. So I'm able to track how far I'm running and all of that. I like that a lot. And you're in the shade.
There's a lot of shade on that one when it's hot down here.
Yes. Absolutely. I would say do not try rollerblading for the first time at St. Joe's, because that walkway is not quite as flat.
No, it's not.
Others.
No, and don't rollerblade on any of them after a storm with all the trees that come down.
There's a lot of branches.
Yes,
unless you want a lot of practice jumping
over the branches. Agreed with that one. And they all have they're dog friendly. You know, they have bags and disposal, so that's really nice.
Yes, we do have a couple dog parks too. We have down in Flagler, we've got the Good Times Dog Bar, which is super fun. You go and the humans get to have a drink, and the dogs go play, and they have a little splash pool for them, and they usually have a food truck out there.
Great.
I love it. We have the best parks.
We have the whole county is actually fairly dog friendly, which is really nice.
Yes.
They tell you where you can go, and only a few places really where you can.
Yep, lots of restaurants, the beaches, all of that. Let's see. I also wanted to talk about what is growing in Palm Coast, since we talked about the new rec center. We also have so much growth on 100, which is pretty cool.
It's really changing the look of the town, isn't it?
It's nice. It's nice. It's nice to kind of bring us into this century. It feels like we've just got the Tijuana Flats opened, the Jeremiah's Italian Ice just opened right next to Chipotle and Panera, so we've got a really good mix of restaurants coming. The other side of Palm Coast, we already have a plethora of restaurants, which is awesome. But this side of town, where our office is,
we're a little short.
Yes, so it's starting, and BJ's is currently being graded, so that's going to be
They're saying this fall. I don't know if they're going to make that, but we'll see.
I mean, they're out there every day working.
They are. They've gone vertical now.
Yes.
So that part's good.
Miller's Ale House will be right in front of it.
Right.
That's up too. So we have so much growth.
And we've got gas station for good prices.
Yes.
That'll be fun too.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Great.
Might help prices all the way across Palm Coast, right?
Yes, we could use that.
We could.
Yeah. What I like is that we have a good mix of local mom and pop businesses, and we also have the big box stores. So you really do have city amenities in a smaller town. We have a little bit of everything. It's really nice. You don't have to go. We used to have to drive down to Daytona to find a Target.
For anything.
Drive to Daytona for anything.
For anything.
And now
really,
we've got almost everything. Almost everything. Palm Coast, if we could get a Trader Joe's, that'd be great. Just saying. Mm-hmm. I would take a Trader Joe's.
Whole Foods.
Any
of those.
Okay.
Any of those would be a good move.
I'll take it.
We'll talk to Margaret, our commercial agent, about that.
There you go. On a not so happy note, I also wanted to kind of address the crime in Palm Coast. It seems to be a little bit more prevalent, and I think it's because the sheriff's office is actually being really proactive on social media to put things out and keep the community aware.
Right.
And I think that our crime has always been very low in Palm Coast. We are actually, I looked up the statistic, we are lower than 63, our crime rate is lower than 63% of all Florida communities.
That's good.
Which is fantastic.
That's a good number.
And honestly, most of the citizens here, they took a survey, and I want to say over 50% felt very, very safe. Mm-hmm. Which is fantastic. Right. And what did you say about most of the crimes that were happening?
Well, most of the crimes are personal type theft. And Sheriff Staley did a presentation to City Hall a year or so ago, commenting that, that number would actually almost go down to nothing if people would lock their cars in their driveway or at the grocery store when they're parking, and if they would lock their homes when they leave. That would make a huge difference because, there is a little bit of that going on, but
people don't seem to be breaking and entering. They're just walking into something that's open to them.
And maybe that's because, before our community was so small and everybody knew everybody on the street. So if you saw somebody, you were kind of following them around, make sure they were okay, right?
We had a lot of neighborhood watch.
Right. Our population's grown so much. We just don't know everybody anymore.
Yeah, we had a lot of growth over the last couple of years. Right. And I think that the sheriff does an excellent job. I will say a lot of the crime, too, that's recorded is people that are running from other counties. They make it to Flagler County. They do not leave Flagler County. No. We will catch them.
Yes.
I love it.
They go to jail or they go back where they committed the crime. One of the two, for sure.
Absolutely. So I think that our police force does a really great job in Flagler.
Yes, they do.
I'm very proud to live here.
Me too.
That's great. So tell me a little bit about Parkside. Why would they utilize a boutique brokerage like us over, one of the big names that they've heard of nationally?
I worked for some of those nationals coming up, and I know you did too. Mm-hmm. You did too. And I opted for my own office and a boutique just because I felt quality control was very easy. Parkside has, I believe, still the highest percentage of brokers per capita. I encourage everyone to get their broker's license here, and in fact, if they pass the test, I pay for it. So you can be assured that somebody in here is going to know the answer to a question. Also, we work together truly as a family. I know a lot of the franchises say they're a family, but not the same kind of family we are. We don't compete in-house. If you get a phone call from another agent's customer, that it goes to that agent. My agents have had, there's been a couple of tragedies in our office over the years with people dying or having to be out of schedule or injuries or stuff. My agents just pick that work up right away. They do it, and they do it. The person doesn't have to worry. They're 100% covered. The other thing that's really important to you and me, because we talk about this quite a bit, is the money Parkside earns and all of its affiliates, it doesn't go to a national franchise. It stays right here in county. It doesn't have to go to the big house in Michigan or Illinois or somewhere else.
Yep.
Our money stays here because we're all from here, and we don't have to, we're not going back to the franchise and having to abide by their rules. Our rules are more Flagler County Flagler County MLS rules and local laws, and that's what we have to abide by. That's who we owe our allegiance to, not to a franchise house.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to control our ethics within our building. And I've been at Parkside for like 6 months now, and it really is such a collaborative environment. Everyone is jumping on board to help each other, and everybody has their own thing. Like, there's not competition in-house because we all...
Their own niche.
Yeah, it's their own niche, and it's so nice to feel like you can go and ask anyone a question, and they really are there to help you. And it's been so nice to be here and be so welcomed and have a nice local brand to pull behind my name.
That's great.
I love it.
That's great.
Thank you for having me.
We're loving having you.
Well, thank you so much for being here with me today. We are definitely going to do this more often. Tune in next month when we sit down and talk about a couple more things about Palm Coast. For the love of Palm Coast, good, bad, indifferent, we want to hear from you. What would you like to hear about when it comes to Palm Coast?
Sounds good. Thanks for watching.
See you next time.